But coming from a dysfunctional family and being raised in care and I know a lot of people who've been raised in care in the same circumstances who've gone on to be homeless like I did. And it's that feeling disconnected from society, like society doesn't want you or doesn't want part of you, and having no relationships. I've come to understand that the power and the strength and the importance of relationships, of having some kind of family. It doesn't have to
Mhm.
be your own genetic family, but just something that you can belong to and feel a part of. And the that being disconnected from everything, that's what goes on to lead to addictions with the alcohol and the drugs and stuff like that, because you're not just trying to get away from a world, but you're trying to create a world that you can belong to. You, the people who are supposed to be caring for you don't know who you are. You have no identity, no sense of belonging.
Mm.
You kind of slip into that isolation and loneliness is a killer, as we all know. And then you end up sort of thinking, well, I'll just go off and be on my own and I'll be happy. And you pretend that you are, but you're not. Everybody, every single human alive wants to belong to something, wants people to see them, to recognize them, to speak to them. Even just pass them in the street and say, "You okay, mate? Morning."
Hmm.
Anything. Yeah, yeah. When I first went homeless in the early 90s, that was very deliberate. I decided that society wanted no part of me, and that decision had been made several years earlier, and I grew to despise society. So I became homeless to shut myself out from society completely. It bred loneliness, and as I say, loneliness for a depressed person is an absolute killer. My self-harming grew worse. My drinking grew worse. For years, I thought I was happy like that. I felt like I was improving, but actually, what I was doing was I was making a bigger void between me and society. And yeah, it was my thought processes started to change that because society didn't want me, I was broken. There was something very wrong with me. Why didn't I fit in? And then I became quite suicidal on occasions. Um, it was well, it's kind of bizarre because that was a long time ago, and then 4 years ago I found myself homeless again, and then both situations it was the same thing that created an effect that brought me out of it, which was being suicidal. On the first occasion, I opened my wrists, and then through getting medical care, I was then put into an establishment for homeless people, which then sort of improved my situation somewhat, and then I got a job, which helped the second time around, which is the much better one. Was again, I took a massive overdose, which should have killed me. I ended up in the hospital. I was on the heart monitor because my heart rate, no matter what I did, my heart rate would go above 36 beats a minute. So I had to wear a portable heart monitor all the time. So then I was put into the Peace Home Centre. And then from the Peace Home Centre, I got to Restore. And then from Restore, everything changed because God said, I want you. I love you. And I'm here. I've never felt freedom or peace in my life until um, 2018, February 2018, when God said, "I want you,"
And
and he showed me that. He showed me that in we could have this interview for a week, 24/7, and I couldn't explain that to you. But
no,
he said he wanted me, and the first person in my life to say that to me, who meant it and who meant it with love, not he didn't mean it for what he could get out of me. It's you know yourself, Derek. You know yourself. It's amazing when you feel that and all everything in you that's dark and broken and rotten and twisted, it falls away. We spend as much time breaking ourselves as we are broken by others.
wow.
Only God can put us back together.